Hi Earthlings, I'm Trice. Are you struggling with money? Do you feel like you're trying everything, that you're working hard and it's still not working out? You've got lint in your pockets. I have the solution. Your beliefs might be holding you back, and just shifting your way of thinking in an instant can make you thousands. So watch the video all the way through. See if any of these 6 limiting beliefs are holding you back, so you can free yourself to make the money you deserve. The first limiting belief is coined in the phrase, I can't. There is no 2 words that shatter the infinite possibilities to dust than the word I can't. And I felt this sword of destruction on my life from a very early age. Trice used to want to be a ballerina. And we grew up a little economically challenged, and dance lessons were expensive. So I always thought, I can't afford them. I can't have that. When looking back, now that I'm not wrapped in that layer of fear, I had the money. I had a paper route. I worked at McDonald's, but I was so afraid of spending it on my dream. And sometimes seeing a story about somebody else's life makes you see how much that fear is just an illusion. As you're walking through your life, increase your consciousness and see how many times you hear yourself saying, I can't do that. I can't afford that. I can't go there. I can never get that job. All those things are killing your possibility. And simply changing the phrase to how can I opens the door to success. I was very lucky that I learned this early on, and I didn't let that ballet story ruin the rest of my life. I used it as a learning lesson. And even though I was still from the same family with the same financial situation, I decided I wanted to go to art school. I asked myself, how can I? I could take 1 year of local state classes. I could go to the 3 years of the fancy art school, and I could work to pay my room and board while doing it. And I walked away with $13,000 of loans, not a boulder over my head, and living my dream of going to art school for fashion design. Now I'm guilty of all of these, but this second one is pretty embarrassing how much I struggle with it. The second limiting belief is knowing in the core of your being that you were right. Do you see how this thought process condenses all those infinite possibilities that exist to one? Your whole ship is riding on one possibility. I am so guilty of doing this all the time. I just was doing it with my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel was flourishing, and I was just going through the stratosphere. And then for the past 3 months, and in financial planning, if something happens for 3 months, you say it's a trend. It was dying, like a painful, slow death. And I'm like, well, what's happening? I know I'm doing it right. You over can see the crux. If I know I'm doing it right, why is it not working out? I am the one that's wrong. So with my YouTube channel, I was reading the stats. I was doing these ASMR videos, and they would perform poorly on the first day or 2, but then over a month, they would be some of the highest viewing videos on my channel. So I was like, okay, so they don't get a big run out of the gate. Maybe people are putting them on their playlist or waiting until they go to sleep, but people are listening to them more than my other videos. And this combination of information made me think that I was on the right path, but I was missing something. YouTube has its own plans. And when they push out videos and people stop clicking on them, they take them off the homepage. And then if that happens too much, they will not promote them at all. It was only because I changed my mind to surrender to the fact that I clearly was not right. Was I able to see this and take action to try something new? So if you are doing something and it is not working and you've been working hard at it, write down what you think you're doing right, because there's a missing link in there. There is something missing. And the way I find my missing link is I say, this is my hypothesis. What am I missing? Your mind is the best navigation device on earth. It will seek and find the answer that you tell it to look for. And it found that piece of missing information by giving me the inspired thought to Google huge drop off in views and hear other people's stories of this happening to them. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this third one was pretty painful to see in myself. The third limiting belief is to try to do things perfect. Did you know that perfectionism is a sign of low self-worth? I heard that over at the ASMR psychologist, and it made perfect sense. Humans are not designed to be perfect. I don't know why they started teaching us that failure was a bad thing, but it is the only way to learn. Imagine you have a baby that's starting to learn to walk. They stand up and then they fall down. And imagine you said, "You terrible baby, how dare you fall down? You're supposed to be walking." It would be totally absurd. Falling down and getting up is how the baby learns. And anytime we try something new, we have that beginner spirit inside of us. And I'm going to tell you something pretty not flattering about myself. I've made the same income for about 10 years. Why didn't it get higher? Because I was always trying to improve. I would keep moving the bar. If I just do a little bit better, if I just add a little bit more value, then I'll work on these other parts of my business, selling courses or expanding my business model. I just want to make sure I have the highest quality. Have you been guilty of this? I just need to prove myself a little bit more. I hear this from my clients over and over, and it's really a self-worth issue hidden behind that very seductive screen of perfectionism. So I say this mantra to myself, and I sometimes have to say it like 50 times a day. Good is good enough. Good is good enough. My new aim is good. And this next one kills genius. And the fourth limiting belief that I see that causes the most destruction is the deck is stacked against you. Now, why is this so seductive? Because it might be true. The deck might actually be stacked against you. But focusing on that, internalizing, holding on to that, what is that going to bring into your life? Apathy, not trying, frustration, anger, resentment. That's not very empowering. So how do you change it? Focus on the cards that you have been dealt and surround yourself with people that see your value. There is some seductive power in being able to be the victim. It absolves you of responsibility. But I'm going to play a little game with you, and I'm going to ask you, how would you prefer that I talk to you? I want you to pretend that I am privileged and you are the downtrodden. I'm going to do two scenarios. Here's scenario one. Oh, my poor darling, the atrocities that you have suffered. I cannot believe it. Nobody should feel that way, not even a mouse. It is unconstitutional. And it's not your fault. You have been wronged. You have been pushed down. You've never had the opportunity to rise up and have all the good things in life because you've never been given a chance. I just am crying tears because of the heartbreak it makes me feel. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go march with you? Do you want me to picket? Do you want me to write letters to my congressman? Would you like me to give all my money to the poor? Whatever you say, I will do. Okay, that's number one. Here's number two. We are having a cup of tea, and you come and sit with me, and I start saying, I know you have been through a lot. You are the strongest person that I know. Nothing can keep you down. I see a power so strong in you that you can achieve anything. It makes me burst with pride.
It just makes me burst with pride, the unbelievable opportunity that you have, the gift that you have to give the world. And I'm going to show you how to find it. All those hard knocks, all those things that put you down have taught you something. That is the thing that you could give the world. And you dare to let that shine through you? The lives that you touch will be unmeasurable.
When the world can't give you what you need, give it to yourself and you will attract that. So I say to myself, I have a winning hand, no matter what cards I hold. Oh, you're going to be so happy to rid yourself of this belief because you're going to have so much more fun. The fifth limiting belief is I can't do what I love and make tons of money. I am here to tell you that this has no shade of truth. And the easiest way to see it is by looking at it through the eyes of energy and vibration. Pick something that you hate to do. Hate to do. Go ahead, really pick something. It makes it much easier. Now imagine that job, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter, was going to pay you $1 million a year to do it. For example, I always thought I wanted to be a secretary because I thought they got to wear cute outfits and greet people. But they also have to do a lot of other things like spell and keep order and do calendars, things that Trice is tragic at. Now, if I'm imagining that I'm a secretary and I made $1 million a year doing that job, I still couldn't do it because it was so hard for me that it was sucking my soul out of my body. I would go to the bathroom about 10 times a day just to take a break from being the secretary. I lasted, I think, 2 or 3 months. So from an energetic point of view, when you do something you dislike, you do the bare minimum. And it doesn't matter if it's going to pay you an ocean of money because you cannot muster up the energy to get over the hill. Now, anything that pays wildly successful, there are going to be challenges that you have to overcome. Now, do you think that you are going to be fit for overcoming those challenges if you do not find the work interesting? That you're not curious about the solution? Absolutely not. We only can get wildly wealthy doing work we love. Otherwise, we will try to do the least amount of work as possible. You can peruse the millionaires and billionaires over planet Earth. Warren Buffett is like 1,000 years old, and he's still, as he says, tap dancing to work. Now, if this looks like an impossible dream to you right now, watch this video on how to manifest your dream job and switch your mantra to, I only can get rich doing work that makes me curious. The last one will keep you poor. The sixth limiting belief is that is too expensive. Have you been guilty of saying this? It might look true, but let me tell you something about money. Money has a lot less to do with the price and a lot more to do with the value. And I'm going to showcase what I mean about that. Imagine that I am pitching you my services. We sit down and you don't have any money. You don't have any money. Maybe you have $5,000. We'll give you a $5,000 budget. And I pitch you my services. I'm going to make your life amazing. And my service costs $50,000. What do you say? A lot of people say, well, that's too expensive, or I don't have the money, or how could you even charge that much, you crazy loon ball? You don't know if it's too expensive yet because you don't know what you're going to get in return. Maybe you're going to make $1 million guaranteed off this $50,000 investment, and you would do everything in the universe to borrow, beg, and steal from your friends and everybody to jump in on this deal. Do you see how we're so swayed by those big price tags? It blinds us from looking at what really is important. How much value is this going to add to me? And value is a little elusive. It's subjective. Everybody will weigh value in different ways. You can have monetary value, like I invest $50,000 and I get $100,000 back. That's numerical. That makes it a little bit easier. But most value is subjective. This lip gloss, how much joy is it going to bring to my life? Having 1 or 2 lip glosses bring immense joy to my life. But as I start to have 20 lip glosses, there is a diminishing amount of joy. If you watch your words are living, breathing expressions of your thoughts, of how you think, showcasing your beliefs. And if you see them, then you can change them. And when you change your thoughts, everything changes. And until next time, my darling earthling, ciao.